As promised, it's finally time to break down what I think the final roster for the Dallas Cowboys will look like. We're only days away from the official roster cuts, and it could be just a few hours before we start hearing the first official word on who's actually getting cut. Today, I'm going to take you through my full projection, including a look at the practice squad, which, just to be clear, is never going to be 100% accurate. There are always surprises teams, signing guys from outside the organization, late changes due to injuries, or strategic moves you won't see coming. Before we dive in, a quick note, there might not be a YouTube push notification today because of all the content that's dropped in the past 24 hours. If that happens, I could really use your help. Share today's video on social media, tag your friends, post it to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you can. The more you help me keep bringing this coverage. And yes, feed my family along the way. Now, let's jump right into it. Starting with the quarterbacks, I'm keeping it simple. Dak Prescott is obviously the starter, and I believe Joe Milton has earned the backup spot. After watching the third preseason game, I think the Cowboys saw enough in Milton to trust him as the number 2 guy. As for Will Grier, my guess is he'll be on the practice squad with a wink, nudge scenario basically. The team likes him, but isn't ready to burn a roster spot. This is already a change from my previous projections, where I was only going with one QB heading into the final preseason game. Now, the running back room is much trickier. I feel confident that Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, and Hunter Lipka will be on the roster. Beyond those three, it's uncertain. There's a chance they keep Deuce Vaughn, especially given the injuries to Miles Sanders and Jaden Blue. Vaughn has shown value on special teams and even outperformed some other backs throughout the preseason, which makes him a very interesting bubble player. As of now, I don't feel confident predicting the bottom of the roster here. It's honestly one of the hardest positions to call. Shifting to wide receivers, I made some changes here too. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Cavante Turpin, and Jalen Tolbert all hover between safe and lock status. I'm leaning toward Ryan Finley over Jalen Brooks, primarily because the Cowboys tend to favor younger, more recent draft picks who can contribute in multiple ways. Jonathan Mingo, meanwhile, will start the season on IR, but is expected back early. One thing I wrestled with was whether the Cowboys carry 6 receivers, which would likely mean cutting a running back to make room. With injuries in the offensive line and tight end rooms, this is the type of roster decision that could get complicated fast. Speaking of tight ends, I'm projecting 3 will make the roster. Hunter Lipka doubles as a tight end, which provides flexibility. Injuries to players like Luke Schoonmaker and Revenant Ford influenced my thinking, and the Cowboys might consider Princeton Fant in that mix for his blocking and special teams value. On the offensive line, the starters remain the same when healthy: Gayton, Smith, B.B. Booker, and Steele. Nathan Thomas is a lock, and I think Brock Hoffman is safe, though his extended playing time in the final preseason game might have been more out of necessity than anything else. TJ Bass and Hakeem Denia are on the bubble, with Denia possibly destined for the practice squad. I'm most concerned about Ajani Cornelius, a draft pick who performed well but might not survive waivers if cut, making him a risky option. On the flip side, this means Austin Richards is vulnerable. He's a talented guard, but might not survive if the Cowboys prioritize other positions. Now, let's touch on special teams and prize picks, which is sponsoring today's show. Preseason and college football are in full swing, and prize picks makes it easy to get in on the action. You pick whether a player goes over or under their stat projections, and if you're right, you can cash out at up to 2,000 times your money. My personal picks? Dak Prescott, over half a passing yard for Week 1, easy Xavier-worthy, over 3.5 rushing yards, and Ashton Gentry for at least half a touchdown. If you want to try it, go to PricePicks.com and use code CLNS for $50 after your first $5 lineup. Moving back to the roster, the edge rusher spot was another tough call. Micah Parsons, Dante Fowler, Nian Israel, and Sam Williams are locks. For the 6th spot, I went with Patton Turner over others, like Justin James Houston, mainly because Turner seems ahead on the depth chart and offers slightly more against the run. That said, Houston has had a productive preseason and could easily be claimed by another team. On the defensive line, Solomon Thomas and Osa Odigizua are safe. I went back and forth between Jay Toya and Perion Winfrey, ultimately choosing Toya. Both have shown flashes, but the Cowboys' preseason deployment gives us clues about who's ahead in the pecking order. Veteran additions could still shake this up, though. Linebackers feel set. Jack Sanborn, Reese Leaf, Kenneth Murray, and Dione Clark. You could see a Maris Bell emergency situation, but that's a minor note. Corners are a little messier. Don Bland, Kalen Elam, and Andrew Booth are safe. I have Israel Mumu on the bubble, along with Kim Hall and Zion Childress. Trevon Diggs' availability will impact the roster, and if he's ready before Week 4, the team might activate him from PUP, creating a numbers game that affects others like Kalen Carson. At safety, it's straightforward. Malay Cooker, Donovan Wilson, Maris Bell, and Wayne Thomas are locks. No surprises expected here. For kickers and punters, it's simple. Brandon Aubrey, Brian Anger, and Trent Siege are all locks. Period. Finally, let's talk about waivers and the practice squad. The players most at risk of being claimed include Phil Maffa, Austin Richards, and James Houston. Others like Will Greer, Tan Holden, Jaden Brooks, Princeton Font, Lyle Collins, Sadiq Charles, and CJ Goodwin are my practice squad projections. A few international players, like Denzel Daxon, add depth without waiver concerns. All in all, this is as close to a finalized projection as I can make right now, but keep in mind anything can happen. Injuries, surprises, and last-minute moves are part of the NFL's chaos. The Cowboys roster is fluid, but this should give you a solid picture what to expect. We're only 752 subscribers away from 220,000, so hit that sub button and join the family if you haven't already. More news, injury updates, and roster moves are coming, and I'll be right here breaking it all down for you.